Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So today I want to have a little bit of a talk about one of my pet peeves that I hear a lot and that I have personally been guilty of myself in the trades when I used to do heating and air conditioning, and also I hear it a lot amongst artists and craftspeople from pretty much everywhere across the United States of America and some abroad as well. But it's a disrespect of foreign craftsmen and craftspeople. And the reason why I say this is a disrespect, and this is going to strike some people, this will strike you down, between your heart. It's going to convict some of you where maybe you're doing wrong, or maybe you don't feel like you're doing wrong, and you think I'm just full of it, and that's okay too. But we say a lot, some generalities and things about, it came from Ching Chang Chu, China, right? I've heard that expression. I've heard stuff, or, we don't want this Walmart stuff that come from China. Or things where, we talk about Mexico. They manufacture in Mexico, or Tibet, or Taiwan, or India, or something like that. And so therefore, it is not as worthwhile of a product for you to buy. And I'd like to challenge that thinking, and I know I'm a bit of an odd man out here, but I'd like to challenge that thinking for just a second. If you look around at a lot of the things that we have nowadays that is cheap, that we can buy. We complain all the time about tooling being expensive, but yet then we don't buy American-made tooling. Because it's expensive. And so therefore we buy stuff from Harbor Freight, things that were manufactured in India, components that were manufactured in Taiwan or China, maybe it was assembled, the whole thing after it was all those places got assembled in Mexico because there was cheaper labor there to be had. And this is kind of a subject that you can get a lot of vitriol from. You can get a lot of heavy-weighted opinions on both sides. But I would like for you to just think for a few minutes that those people are their people. They're people. That's the key word there. They're people. They're fellow craftsmen. Whether they're skilled, whether they're talented, whether they get the right to be, whether they don't get the right to be skilled, talented, and pursue the same things that we get to love and enjoy here in America. That is of, that's of no consequence in this argument here of whether it's a good quality tool or not. A lot of times, because they're getting paid cheaper labor, they're just happy and thankful to have a job, and so therefore it's less of an emphasis as I've worked at companies, and I'm sure a lot of you have before in the past, which you were kind of treated as a number. And if Bill won't do it, Bob will. And so they fire Bill and they keep Bob. And I've been at companies before where one of them, I won't mention by name, legality purposes, although I do not have much love for them. It was a heating and air conditioning company, and pretty much, it's a skilled trade, heating and air conditioning is. We are told directly in a meeting by the general manager that I don't pay you to think, we could get monkeys to do your jobs. So with that kind of mentality, you can imagine that kind of gets propagated around the world at a lot of the larger corporations and things of that nature. That same mentality can apply there. And so at that point, they're not paid to think. They're not paid to do their best work. They're paid to get a product assembled cheaply and under a certain dollar point and out the window and out the door. If they were given the same opportunities to demand higher wages and demand things, the cost would go up, and also the quality would probably go up. And so I just challenge you, when you're in your circles and you're talking about world events and you're talking about things like that, or you're talking about marketing your product to somebody, don't use the example of some other foreign craftsman across the world somewhere who has every bit just the same amount of worries that you do about how they're going to feed their families and themselves. Don't use them as a benchmark for your own ironwork. Saying, you could just go get it cheaply made in Tibet or whatever. Don't use them as a benchmark for your sales, for your ironwork, for your products. Use your own personal experiences, the things that you're passionate about to really sell your work. And don't worry about what other people are doing in the world and how cheap it is and how much they could outmarket you or anything else like that, because we live on a very big planet, 7.3 billion people, and I think it's went up from there. I don't know what the current tally is. I'm sure it's always changing, I'm sure. But you know, with 7.3 billion people on this planet, you know, that the person that's coming to you to have a product made, if they're looking for something on the cheap and you can't provide the value that you provide at that price point for them, then they need to get it somewhere else at a lower price point. And that's the way you need to explain it to the customer. You know, just don't tell them to go buy something from China then, or Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that. Okay, try to explain it to them. What is the difference? What is it that you're bringing to the table as far as value is concerned? Are you bringing the value of that they'll always have great customer service with you? Are you bringing them the value that you are a small company and a small enterprise and you're family run? Are you playing the family element? Do you have a family? You know, you can say, hey, you know, are you sharing your stuff on Instagram? Are you keeping your customers updated and in the loop? Stuff like that is what sells your products, not how cheaply made something else is. That's a kind of an ignorant approach to business, is comparing yourself to other businesses and saying, well, I'm pretty sure Walmart doesn't compare themselves to Target. Not at all. Walmart has their own pricing strategies. They make note of Target, but they have their own pricing strategies. They have their own marketing team. They have their own game that they're playing on the worldwide scope of things, okay? And so the same thing with you. You can look at another blacksmith online that has a very successful business. Don't copy their work. Don't try to go out there and compare or slander or bash that person. Well, I heard from so and so they've got horrible work and I'm better than them. It ends up not shining you up any at all. It actually just makes you look a fool in front of your customer, and it actually looks very unprofessional. So I challenge you today to start really thinking about what value you provide the world, and stop condemning other people for trying to provide some sort of value in this world in order to take and feed themselves and their families. So that's it for today. Let me know what you think about this little Forge chat here and my thoughts here down in the comment section down below. I greatly love to hear from you. And like always, God bless you, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.